Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. That video literally just put such a big smile on my face. For those of you that are on today that attended our French Kiss conference last year, I'm sure you'll agree it was an absolutely phenomenal, fantastic night, and it truly, truly makes me smile. So let's hope that we're able to do something similar at the end of this year. Anyway, welcome this morning and thank you for joining us. Happy Friday, as I say. And we've got the fabulous Jason Gale joining us today to talk business. Jason, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, I'm here.
Morning, darling. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you for playing that video. It reminds me what it's like to wear shoes, which I forgot about. I've actually got some, so that was
It's actually funny you should say that, because I was thinking I can't remember the last time I put a high heel on, and as much as they make my bum look better,
yes. Oh, me too.
Not missing them.
I wore mine last
night. Jason, over to you, darling.
Yes, good morning. Firstly, guys, I might be a little bit flustered, so I was just, I deleted my presentation. So just leading up to this webinar this morning, so I might have a remarkable business, but I certainly don't have remarkable computer skills. So let me see if I can share it. Rebecca, you've disabled me from sharing my screen.
Fancy that. 1 second. Got to make you a host. Here we go.
Right. Okay.
Should be able to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I was saying, my computer froze, and instead of saving everything, I deleted everything. So forgive me. Right. We're nearly there. Okay. So today, what we're going to be talking about is building a remarkable beauty business, which is obviously it's not clicking. Sorry. Right. But before I start, just who I am, in case you have not been on one of these webinars before. I'm an expert in marketing and communications. I've been increasing revenue for brands, businesses, celebrities for the past 27 years. I'm the creator of the London Lifestyle Awards, and I'm working with FilmEd predominantly to help you guys. So what is a remarkable business? The title, what is remarkable? Basically, it's a business that your customers want to remark upon. So breaking on the word remarkable, it means they want to remark upon your business, and that's what we're here to discuss. So some of you may have seen this triangle before that I keep parading around, and it's really the sort of customer journey. And people start off, everybody starts off as a stranger, and then they become somebody who likes something about your business, whether it be your shop front or picture online, etc. And then they start to follow your business, and then they become customers, they become clients. And then what I'm really talking about constantly is them becoming ambassadors, and people are becoming ambassadors of your business so that they remark on your business. And we'll talk about this through today. But how you get people to go from strangers to customers, and then the select ones to ambassadors, is through attention and trust, attention and trust, attention and trust. So we see, I'm actually not sure if I've spoken to you about this in particular before, but we see lots of people who are online who get great attention. They get lots of attention, usually because they're beautiful or they're wearing a bikini or swimming trunks or whatever, but they have very little trust. We don't really trust them. And then we have people in the real world that we really trust, but they have no attention. And our job to create remarkable businesses that we want our clients to remark upon, is to develop that attention and trust all the way down. So let me just talk about what's coming up, the areas that we're going to cover this morning. We're going to talk about the goal, which is creating ambassadors to remark on your remarkable business. I'm also going to talk about developing an ecosystem of products and services and why that's important. I'm going to talk about becoming client obsessed, and then talking about having a client obsessed focused team, and then talking about a continued improvement process, and then also talking about if it goes wrong and how we react to that. So ambassadors, I think some of you might have seen this before, but it's just quickly we'll recap. Ambassadors, these are the people that are going to remark on your business for this remarkable business. Ambassadors will visit your business more often. They become more regular clients. They would like to buy the premium products. They want to buy premium products from you. They'll carry your brand as a badge of pride. They will attend your events with energy and enthusiasm, whether that's online or offline. Ambassadors post across social media about you. They give great reviews online on review sites. They also defend you in the face of criticism, and they will facilitate friends, family, colleagues to book with you. So let's talk about an ambassador program, creating an ambassador program. When you're trying to get people to start remarking on your business, you need to make sure that they go through your business and they have points where they want to talk about. So what you need to do to do that, and we didn't discuss this in detail in the ambassador webinar, was that you've got to create a customer journey. You've got to create a customer journey map. And that is how your customers feel from the very, very beginning of the process to the end of the process, or a circle. So how they feel at every point on the circle. So from the moment that they see you online or they walk past your clinic or your salon, to the moment, you know, so then they're booking and then they're arriving, what it's like at reception, how they're greeted, then what the actual treatments are like, then what the aftercare is like, how the follow-up is. So the whole process needs to be mapped, and I literally mean mapped. You should get out a big white piece of paper and draw this map of your customer journey. What you've got to do is know and understand your customer's experience. Too many of us think about us as business owners' experience at that point, or us as practitioners, our experience at that point. But you really need to think about what the customer is feeling. And at that point, you need to look for the delight points, because remember what we're talking about today. We're talking about remarkable. We're talking about getting people to comment. And if people come to your businesses and they just have a normal service and experience a normal product, normal activity, what they would expect, they're not going to remark upon it. So you've got to have in your business delight points, points that they go, oh, I want to tell a friend about that. That is remarkable. And it's what I call creating an amuse-bouche. An amuse-bouche is when you go to a restaurant, I'm sure many of you know this, but when you go to a restaurant, a high-end restaurant, between the courses, the chef will send you a little tasty morsel of food that you didn't order, that wasn't on the menu, it's just a little gift. And research shows, and shows in my own research that I've done with high-end restaurants, and when I look after their strategies, that's what people talk about the next day. They all talk, oh, and they sent this little plate over. Think about your own experience. Now you've got to find your little amuse-bouches in your industry, in the beauty industry, in your clinic. And the final thing is to talk about when you're creating this program, when you're trying to create a remarkable business, is you've got to be prepared to forego short-term margins for long-term profits. So when we're trying to delight people and build up that remarkable business, your margins in the short run may be cut, may be trimmed, but your profits in the long run will increase. And the reason that they'll increase in the long run is because your marketing expenses and your customer acquisition and your customer retention will all increase, making it cheaper to operate. So you might lose in the margins in the short run, but you'll gain long-term profits. Right. So we're going to talk quickly about developing an ecosystem of products and services. So the most effective way to market your business is having remarkable services or products. And many of you have got some remarkable products because you've got FilmEd products, and that's what we enjoy. I enjoy as a marketeer for FilmEd. I enjoy that, and it's often an easy process because the products are so remarkable, and you guys go and talk about them all the time on social media or to your clients, etc., etc. So ensure that your products and your services. Remember, you are in the service business. People do talk about your service, probably more than your product sometimes. That's the most effective way to market your business. And when we're talking about products and services, you need an ecosystem. So many beauty businesses do have an ecosystem, and it really, really works. But I just want to break this down a little bit, because the first one, I think a lot of you haven't done in the past, and you need to do more of it especially since what we've learned about customer behavior during this lockdown. And this is the free product. Okay, so you might do free consultations, and we've got this a promotion going on at the moment where we're going to give face masks. We're going to give free face masks to our end user, to our clients, and information is another good free product. So all the time you need to be thinking about how I can give something free to potential clients, to my clients and potential clients. And then we move on to what we call product for prospects. And this is probably generally my biggest criticism of the beauty industry. This is the section where we're not giving enough product for prospects. Lots of businesses, and I see it not just in the beauty industry, but in hospitality, another area that I know hospitality really, really well, that what happens, you get a product as a business owner and you say, right, my markup on all my products is 70%, 50%, 60%, whatever you work on. So that's what I'm going to sell it at, right across the board. And that's how lots of businesses is run. And I think that is the wrong way to run the business. I think that you need to choose one or two products, one or two services. That's a product for prospect. And this is for somebody who, this is a low cost product that your margins are much smaller than on, so that you can deliver that to your client as almost like a gateway product. So this is saying, come to me, have this, it's going to cost you very, very minimal. You take a little hit on it because you're still going to give your time if it's a service. You take a little hit on it, but it's a way of getting people into the salon, into the clinic, and really trusting you, really building that trust. And once people have handed over money and you've had that exchange, they're more likely to do it again. And hopefully they'll do it next time on your core product. And this is what your central offering is. This is what you do day in, day out. And this is where your turnover, the vast majority of your turnover comes from. And I'm going to talk about the difference between turnover and profit in a minute, but that's where the bulk of your cash comes from, the bulk of your money. Then we move on to premium product. And do you remember when I talked about ambassadors? Ambassadors more likely to buy your premium products. And this is where you can have really great fun with profit, because this might not be your biggest turnover product, but it should be your biggest profit product. And this is where you make up for cutting your margins from your product for prospects. So if you can see, this ecosystem model is a customer journey. You start off and you get free products out to people. At the moment, you've got the ability to go give free consultations to as many people as possible. And then you have a product for prospects that you won't make much money on. There won't be much money, but you're still developing that sense of trust with the client. You're still doing a fair exchange, building the trust up. Then you've got your core product, which is what you do day in, day out, where you build your turnover. And then you have your premium product where that's where you generate your profit, where you generate your major profit. So I hope that makes sense to you. I won't keep reiterating this, but if you've ever got any questions in this, please do ask them in the chat, because I know Rebecca will monitor them and ask me them at the end, or you can contact me directly if it's specifically about your business and you don't want to share. So the next thing I want to talk about is becoming client obsessed. People come to businesses that they believe something is missing. They believe something is missing. We all, if I go to a bar, I go to a bar because I want to drink, because I want to feel probably a bit happier. I want to be a bit more sociable, or I'm thirsty, or whatever it is. And people come to you guys because they want better skin, they want fuller lips, they want less lines, etc. But you need to look underneath that. And this is what getting a remarkable business is. It's all about deepening these relationships and personalizing it. So you need to look underneath that and thinking, right, okay, so they want to look younger, but let's see, let me have that relationship with them, why they want to look younger, or why they want fuller lips, or why they've got insecurities about their skin. And I think that really, really helps us in the beauty business, is if we can be that person. And that's how it generates ambassadors and makes your business remarkable. So it's a matter of tapping deep into the heart, looking at what their why is, why they're really there. And I think you've got to be constantly thinking about how you can solve your clients' problems. I think it's all too easy just to think of clients as a mess. And one of the things that I love talking to great practitioners about, they can pick individual clients that they know all these points. They know that they had, they came in because they wanted better skin health, but they also know lots of other things about them and why they had that, and their insecurity or what made it that want, what was the made it that want. And recently, we've been talking quite a lot about talking on camera and talking on social media and marketing your business. And because I had to rewrite these slides, I can't remember if I've got to come to this again, but I don't want to forget this. When you're thinking about your clients, when you're talking on camera, really think about the types of clients that you're going to be talking to, the types of clients that you've got and what their needs are, and pull that into an avatar. Create a client in your head that represents them, and speak to that person when you're talking on camera. So at the moment, I have a practitioner in the head that I've spoken to, that I'm thinking about and thinking, this is what this person needs, and you should do the same online. And then when you're online, and the more that you know about your clients, the more that you're obsessed with your clients, the clearer that vision of that person will become, and that you can speak to your clients online and in person, and it'll feel as though you're speaking directly. So I've got ultimate confidence that you all can do this, that you all are pretty client obsessed. I think that you are very business orientated. You want to serve your community, the people that are coming to you. What I'm less confident about, because I don't know them and they haven't been part of the coming onto FilmEd community, I don't know if your team are. So what you need to do is focus your team on your vision. And we cover this in a program I do, 100 ambassadors. And this is why I think on the webinar that I did on Wednesday, I invited you to invite team members in, because it's okay if you as a business owner or the manager to have this obsession over clients and obsession over a remarkable business. But we know that your business is only as good as the weakest link. And as a team, you need to move forward to create this remarkable business. And I can tell you now, if your team doesn't want to create a remarkable business, you won't have a remarkable business. And that might sound harsh, but it's true. Your business is only as good as your weakest member of the team. And I'm not talking about your weakest practitioner particularly. I'm talking about their desire to improve their mindset and to make your business remarkable. So what I always say is that you've got to train well. I think the beauty industry is very, very good at training. I talk about the beauty industry in other industries and talk about how the beauty industry trains. I think hospitality should train like the beauty industry trains. So you've got to continue to train well. And that means, I think with your team, you should be training every week, whether that is some product training or whether that's customer service training or vision setting or explaining the vision for the business. But that training needs to be going on every week. You obviously need to have a remarkable business. You obviously need to hire well. You need to bring the right people into the business when you're hiring. Make sure the right people. I think it's much more important to get people with the right mindset than the right skill set. Skill sets can be really trained much quicker than mindsets altered. It takes do you think about the skills that you've learned over the last 10 years? Hundreds, if not thousands of skills. I bet you've only had about 3 or 4 mindset shifts. So hire for mindset, not just for skill set. And the third point on this is, I need you to fire well. And you need to fire well and get rid of people if they won't be trained, because otherwise they're going to risk everybody else's jobs. And I never used to say that because I hated firing people. I hated getting rid of people. But I learned I'll tell you a quick story. How are we doing for time? I'll tell you a quick story. I used to have a great PR team, and the PR team was, I hired this person in who was incredibly talented. He was super, super talented, and he came to this team. I was so excited. but his mindset was wrong. And he had more ability than any other member of the team. He had more ability, but his mindset was wrong. And what he did, he changed the mindset. He gradually chipped away at the mindset of the rest of the team. And the whole team, we lost accounts, and we lost, in the end, I lost the whole team because I didn't fire him early enough. He was with me for 18 months. I should have fired him after 6 months, but because he had a strong skill set, I didn't. So you've got to fire well to protect the team, to protect the mindset of the rest of the team. So you've got to foster a positive mindset. I've been reading a lot over the last year or two about tribe mindsets. And again, I've probably mentioned this guy before, a guy called Seth Godin. He's a great author, speaker. And he distinguishes tribe mindsets. And I just want to go through this quickly with you. And you might recognize it. First thing you might recognize in yourself, but then you'll recognize in your team. And this was a complete eye-opener for me. So he categorized people into 5 mindsets. And the first mindset is mindset number 1, and it's life stinks. Okay? So some people in life, and not very many, I think it's 2%, think all life stinks. And this is a horrible subject, but these are the people that go on and they go on mass shootings and things like this. And they're just not interested in society. They hate their life. They hate everybody's life. Life stinks. That's mindset number 1. And then the next stage up in the positive mindset is my life stinks. And these people are still dangerous, but less dangerous because they hate their life, but they think everybody else's life is probably okay. So all the focus on is their life stinks. So they hate their life. Still a bit dangerous because they have no care because their life stinks. Then this is where the majority, 50% of the workforce in the UK is at. I'm great, you are not. And this is what I've recognized in so many teams that I've seen. I've gone in to help teams work together in workshops, etc. And the majority of the people who sit around those tables, no, not the majority, 50% of people who sit around those tables think they're very, very good generally in life, but other people aren't. So they're good at the job, but the person next to them isn't. And that's the majority, where the majority, 50%, sorry, of the people are. And then when you can develop this mindset, when you can develop your team, people will get in together in teams and they start thinking, we are great. So this is when the magic starts to happen. When your team thinks we are great, so they don't just think I am great, we're now starting to think we are great. This is when you can move on and start creating a remarkable business because we are great. And then utopia happens in stage 5 when it's life is great. And this is when you start changing the world, because not only you're great for a business, you think outside everything's great as well. And when you get to that point, clients flock to you in their droves. And the reason they flock to you because they just love being around you, because you love them, because they're part of life and they love you. So unfortunately, probably the majority of you are at number 3, I am great and you are not. Somehow you've got to get your team into we are great and then life is great. This is a continual process. This continued swaps. When you hire people in, you can slip from 5 to 4, and that can go backwards and forwards all the time. This isn't, we've got to 5 now, that's fine. It's a continual progress. And you've got to look out for mind shifts. So I've written a blog about this on jasongale.com, actually. If you want to go and have a look at that, I've written a blog, and it's not too long, but it shows some details about how you can look when people are shifting their mind and help them. Just a quick point, you can't go straight from 1 to 5. You've got to nudge the team down all these mind shifts. Okay, sorry, I've gone about that. I'm very passionate about it. So the next thing I want to talk about is this idea of continued improvement process. My father he was a consultant as well, but in manufacturing. And he used to talk to me, the difference between good companies and world-class companies that I now like to call remarkable companies, he took on world-class companies, is that they have a continual process. And he learned this in Japan. He went into Japan years ago and he saw that every single day in manufacturing, they looked to a point of that, how can we improve that a little bit at a time, just a little bit at a time. When I was an immature business person, what I kept doing was I wanted revolution. So when things weren't working, I used to scrap everything, paint the walls in the office a different color, have different time schedules during the day, talk to the clients differently, etc., etc. I used to do revolutionary. Now, for the past 6-7 years, I've done little changes, continual improvement. And the way that I do this is through this. I do plan, do, act, check. So just taking your beauty business, you have a beauty business now and it operates in such a way. And you want to make improvements to your beauty business. So the first thing that you should do is sit down with key team members and you should plan some improvements. Don't do them all, just plan some improvements. So let's say 2 or 3 improvements. And then you plan those improvements and then you actually input them into the business. You do them. So you make sure that the team is being trained. So it's important that you train the team into the changes you're going to make and you do them. But immediately as you start doing them, you check and you continue to check. And the checking process is vital because some of the plans that the changes that you make, you may have got wrong and they may be really detrimental to your business. So you need to be able to check so you make sure they're not being damaging immediately. And you let that, if they are being damaging immediately, you remove them. But if they're running and it's okay, it seems okay, it might seem good or it might just seem okay, you let it run. And then at the end, I've got those the wrong way around, sorry. Then at the end, you act. And what acting is that you decide whether you're going to keep them in the business permanently or remove them. And then you just repeat this process, repeat it. It's a continual improvement process. So finally, I want to talk about if it all goes wrong, and it often does. Let's be honest, that is business, and great entrepreneurs are people that can solve problems. And that's what you are doing every day in your business. You're solving problems. And the thing is when you've taken people to an ambassador status and they start remarking about your business, when they start telling people about your business, they are risking their own reputation and they're actually emotionally invested in your business. And we know when people are emotionally invested, they can bruise easily. Look at your own personal relationships. You can say something to somebody on the street that that you don't know, that they wouldn't react half as badly as you saying that same thing to somebody that you love, etc. So remember, clients and ambassadors bruise easily. So the first thing that you've got to do is not bruise yourself when you get feedback. And this is, again, it's a lesson I struggle with every single day. I still struggle with this every day. I try and welcome feedback every day, but I'm a sensitive soul. And when people, if they give me any negativity feedback about my awards or my consultancy or whatever it is, even, I'm not the world, I write, but I'm not the world's best speller. And if somebody goes, you spell that wrong, it bruises me. In a way, that's another thing. So welcome the feedback, because that is going to help you improve. And also, if they're a client, if they're an ambassador, it's their right to give you feedback. You should welcome that. We always say in the hospitality business, the worst customer of all is the person that has a bad meal and doesn't complain, because they've left the building, they're probably not coming back, and we don't know why. We can't improve it and we can't get that customer back. So welcome it. When somebody feeds back negativity to you, it's the second best thing they could have said. This is the real key to if it goes wrong for me. And this is a thing that I think businesses generally, lifestyle businesses, I call them, businesses that improve other people's lifestyle. That's why it's called lifestyle businesses for me. That's my definition. That when something goes wrong, they have a bad meal or they have bad service or they have a bad treatment or something, we try and gift them something. We try and give them another treatment, or we try and give them a refund, or in some cases, I've known in some industries, they send flowers or they send a present and everything. And that's all well and good, but it needs to become after time. When somebody has had bad service, when they're a client or ambassador, what they first want is understanding. Now, if you just send a gift, think about it like this. Think about the guy, the high executive, and it's Mother's Day and he is sending flowers to his mum for Mother's Day. If he just sends the flowers and they arrive on his mum's doorstep, she picks up the flowers, think, oh, that's nice from Jimmy. Nice that he sent me flowers. But if it doesn't give her time, in addition to those flowers, the flowers don't mean as much. And this is the same with gifts. If you want your gifts or your refunds, everything to be well received, don't just instantly refund and say, I'm sorry, or instant give a treatment. Spend time with them, understanding their disappointment and explaining and listen. The more time you can spend before the gift, the better the gift will receive and the easier that you'll recover. And the second thing is to think about, that I want you to think about, if you've got practitioners working for you and something goes wrong and you're the owner, you're the senior manager in the business, allow them to spend time correcting the wrong, but also you step up and spend time. I've seen this done remarkably well in restaurants where I've had, you know, a bad dish, undercooked dish or whatever it was, and the waitress has apologized and taken that back, and then the manager has come across and apologized. Now, the manager coming across and apologize every single time makes it all okay. So I just want you to think about that. And the final thing I want to talk about is learn from your mistakes and share them with the rest of the team. And that might sound a bit harsh, but if a practitioner has done the mistake, but I really, really believe the greater good, that if you share them with the rest of the team in your training sessions, everybody learns and you can hopefully prevent from that mistake happening again. So compassionately share mistakes that you and your team make with the rest of the team. So I just want to finish now and thank you for your patience. And you probably spotted some grammatical errors in here, but as I say, I had to rewrite this document. So I just want to finish on this. And you know, I have talked about it before, but this is literally how you have remarkable businesses. You get remarkable businesses by making your clients, your customers, feel great. So much so that they want to remark on it. And I just always remember this, how a client feels. A client feels there's a fair exchange, there's an equal exchange. They feel satisfied and they'll continue to come to you until something better comes along. The ambassador of the remarkable business, that's why they become an ambassador, they feel as though they've gained more than they've spent. So they've spent £1, but they feel as though they gained £1.50. They want to further deepen the relationship with you. So remember, on the ecosystems, they want to go down those ecosystems. They want to go and buy those premium products. And most importantly, this is what we're talking about, remarkable businesses. They want to share their experience. They want to remark about their experience with you, with other people. So thank you for listening. If you do have any questions, please ask now. I'm happy to answer any of them. Or if it's a question about your own business that you don't want to share with everybody else online, you can contact me directly on any social media, or you can find me at jasongale.com as well. Thank you so much.
Right, guys. So you've made some really nice comments in here about your own experiences with team members and things, which is really great. Quite an interesting read, just to say things like an employee last year didn't want to do certain treatments, so she wanted to keep those particular treatments to do in her own time outside of work. So I guess it's just from remembering that you're the boss, you're the person in charge, and if people aren't willing to kind of pull the line, if you like, or toe the line and deliver the treatments you want to be able to offer and deliver from your salon, then you're absolutely within your rights to either insist or to lose her. But you've sort of gone along with it. This is not a comment from Joe to everyone, so she won't mind me mentioning her. But what do you think about that, Jason? Do you think that that's how would you deal with somebody in that sort of circumstance?
Yeah, without knowing, more details, I think there might be a mindset problem there for starting. I understand that they've got treatments they want to do and they've got a side hustle going on. But you've got to think about what your vision is for your business and how is that impacting on the other team members and how is that impacting on you? And it goes back to having people with the same mindset as you, not necessarily, the skill set. I would be personally, I would worry about that. I wouldn't have somebody, I wouldn't, you know, when I had a PR company, I don't have a full PR company anymore, but I wouldn't have somebody working in my PR company that had a, you know, private client on the side. You know, I just don't like it, to be honest. I really don't. So if it's not in the vision of your business, then she's going to hold you back. If it is in the vision of your business, and you want a place where, you know, freelancing practitioners can come in and do bits with you and then bits on their own, that's fine. But if it's not in with your vision, then I would change that situation.
And I think as well, you know, obviously in this, Joe, you're saying you're worried about losing her because she's a good therapist. But what I would say is there's a hell of a lot of good therapists out there. And, you know, this is clearly somebody that doesn't want to deliver a treatment because she would almost feel like she was in competition with herself, delivering a treatment for you and your business and then delivering, you know, that treatment in her own time. So I would be looking at, okay, what's her bigger goal here? And actually, I think, you know, certainly it's a learning experience when you're looking at recruiting a team of people. And I've certainly, along my journey, I used to work in health clubs, sort of, in fact, let me put my little video on so you can see who's talking. Do you want to just pull your screen down as well, Jason, so we get your beautiful face in full view?
Yeah, it's can you stop it? Because it's frozen again, love. It's time to invest in a new laptop.
Let me see if I can.
You should be able to stop me from being able to.
I don't know if I can. Oh, don't let's not worry about it because we don't want to keep everybody too long on this lovely Friday. But I just wanted to say that there's definitely been a few milestones of, I think it always comes down to setting people's expectations from the beginning, and this definitely comes with experience of recruiting people. But first of all, that interview experience, if there's anything in your gut that sort of screams, you know, this might not be a particularly good choice, but also then looking at how that person comes into your business. Are they coming in as if they own the place, or are they coming in, you know, making the rules? You've got to kind of be able to, I don't know, like Jason said, enforce the rules and enforce the business that you want to be providing. And if that person, as much as they, as I say, might be good at what they do, if they're not willing to actually fulfill the job description you're expecting of them, then I guess, you know, it's something.
You know, the fact that the question's been asked, was it Lisa that asked it?
No, this is Joe. And it seems to me, Joe, that you've still got her in your business. Is that right? If you want to just put a little note in the comments. But it is interesting. I call them terrorists in the business.
Right.
I've a few terrorists, whether it was in my, as I say, fitness days of working in health clubs and recruiting, whether it was a receptionist or a PT or whatever. And then certainly in my journey at FilmEd, I reckon I've definitely had a few terrorists that have either tried to infiltrate the business, or, you know, I've brought in to give a little bit of a road show of. And I've sort of learnt my lesson now. I know there's always that trial period that you've got to absolutely stick to your guns on it, because there is a risk that people can come in and completely, you know, the effects, especially with social media and stuff now, they can have a really damaging effect on your reputation.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the fact that Joe's asked the question, I think we've got to answer. You know, she's not happy with it, so I think she's got to have a very tough conversation.
And that's good, Joe. She's on maternity leave, this particular employee at the moment, so she's going to lay down her expectations when she returns. Good. I think you absolutely should there, Joe. You know, it's your heart and soul, isn't it? Even FilmEd for me is heart and soul. Brought this business into the country 4 years ago, and I feel like this is my baby. So if there's anybody that wants to try and, you know, potentially damage it, you've got to remove them straight away. There's no question. Anybody else got any other questions for Jason? And has anybody started or embracing this Wake Up the World campaign? Are people reaching out to their customers? Have they started advertising the Wake Up the World free virtual consultations? Oh, well done, Jason. Is anybody doing that yet? I've seen a couple of videos. I can't see any names on here today that started doing it. Although actually, I think, Joe, you're running an independent offer that I've seen regarding the masks. Brilliant, Lisa. Yes, get on it this weekend. Really tag us into the videos because I'd love to see them, and obviously I'll always reshare them as well. It'd be great to see. Brilliant, Sally, excellent. And don't forget that myself and Jason both said we're really happy to help you if you're feeling unconfident or a bit worried about filming something. Give us a shout, we'll be more than happy to help you. And I just wanted to scroll up there as well and just say to Sam, looks like you've already put your foot down with somebody in particular, which is great. And look, especially when it affects the whole team morale.
Well, you know, just on a final, I know we've got to get going, but on a final point, it's not a matter of being mean that person or just putting your business first. You've got to look after your employees. You've got to look after your family. And if somebody's going to harm your business, this isn't the greedy boss owner situation. You've got to look after the people that do want to come on the same journey as you. So, you know, and I struggled with that, and now I'm completely comfortable with it. So if anybody needs sacking, call me. I'll sack them for you.
That sounds like a great offer again. And brilliant again, Sam. Yeah, I've seen you've done I saw you did your first Facebook Live thing the other day. That was brilliant. So yeah, keep it going. And yeah, let's get on the back of this Wake Up the World campaign, because you know we've got the month of June to really push this and get your diaries booked up for July. So yes. All right. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you on Monday. Gosh, skin perfusion training again with Andrew, I think it is, 2 hours. So whether you've done it or you haven't, please feel free to join us and yeah, refresh, recap, or just learn from scratch with the lovely Andrew Hansford. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. You're very, very welcome to all of you. Thanks for all the comments in there to say thank you. And thank you, Jason.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, have a lovely weekend.